criminal element, the more organized crime type individuals in Lawton, Oklahoma, which is about 20 miles away from here, often use this area to dump bodies. So today I'm going to take you somewhere near and dear to my heart because as a child, it's a place I used to run around in. Talking about, of course, the parallel forest located in the Wichita Mountains in Comanche County, Oklahoma. So the forest itself wasn't originally there. The trees that are planted there were planted in the, I believe, 1930s as a project to kind of stop soil erosion. Not much about the place is really known, other than the Native Americans felt that the mountains in that area were somewhat sacred. We do know that several centuries ago, the Spanish were trying to mine gold in the area, but suddenly they up and disappeared. Yes, this is a place where people tend to disappear, and there are a couple of angles we can approach this issue with. One being that there is a criminal element we know in the area that is somewhat dangerous that stems from Lawton, Oklahoma, which is just a few miles away. Along with that, the area law enforcement is corrupt. I can't tell you as a kid how many times I knew of in Lawton alone that a homicide was classified as a suicide just to make the place look better. Hell, to be totally honest, the department who investigates these things in the area, the Comanche County Sheriff's Department, the man who's sheriff is still sheriff today. I was a kid when he was a sheriff, literally, like I was a teenager. I'm 45 right now. No one should ever be allowed to hold public office that long. And that could be why you really don't hear about these things. Here's a good example. When I was in college, I was told by a sheriff's deputy that worked for the sheriff's department that a couple years prior, a bicycler was taking one of the paths through the forest, and he came upon what looked like fingers coming up out of the ground. Come to find out, someone had been buried alive in cement and left there. But you don't hear these stories. Why? Because they don't want you to hear these stories. Now, the land is owned by the federal government, but let's be honest, we all know from missing 411 cases that the government doesn't have the resources to investigate these things, much less even keep logs. Now let's explore some of the stranger things going on with this place. Now I can tell you, I've been out there at night myself. The place is freaking creepy. So why would the Spanish suddenly abandon the area? And then sometime later, the federal government would build a forest over the same area. Was it to maybe hide something? Did they know something was going on there and somehow building this forest under the guise of soil erosion would somehow contain the evil that might be there? Now, there are rumors of something called a dog man, a deer man that has been seen there, and other kind of cryptid type monsters that are sometimes seen lurking in the shadows, particularly around this forest. Now, in 2012, a guy named Kyle and his buddy were out in the wildlife refuge basically filming the sunset. It's beautiful out there at night, but they were somewhere close to the parallel forest. And as they were filming, suddenly there was a rush of elk and buffalo just right by them, as if something was chasing them. As they sat there trying to figure out what was going on, they decided maybe it was time to leave. No sooner did they get their vehicle started than what can only be described as a man, half deer, half mannish, whatever, came out of the edge of the forest. The thing was making sounds like screeches and screams, and it actually tried to attack them before they got away. I'll post a link to Kyle's description of the situation below, so you can go read it for yourself and figure out if you believe it or not. Inside of this forest is what some call a Satanic Altar. Now, I can tell you this, people have used it as a Satanic Altar, but that's really not what it is, and I'll get to that later on in the video. So for now, let's go check out the parallel forest. Okay, here we are at the haunted forest. I'll be honest with you, I've been out here a lot, especially when I was in college. And there were more than once that they found dead bodies in here. For the most part, people come out here to hike, but there is a lot of other nonsense that goes on out here. So let's take a walk in there. We'll start off and see if we can find that Satanic Altar that everybody's talking about. Every 6 feet there is a tree, and they're all in a row. It's very easy to get disoriented in here, and the area is a lot bigger than it looks. So we're gonna spend some time trying not to get lost here. As soon as you get into the forest, everything gets darker, and your perception kind of starts to change. it's not uncommon for people to get disoriented in here. I think I'm walking back north now, and I'm just kind of basing that on the sun, but I could be wrong. So it is really effing quiet out here. It's freaky almost. Okay, so that is the Satanic Altar. Now I'll actually tell you what it actually is. In the 1700s, the Spanish were mining gold out here. This is an ore crusher. Now it would have had like a large wheel-shaped rock to roll over the ore to smash it. Of course, that's long gone. In the 1950s, a Boy Scout troop from Lawton decided that they were going to restore it, and that's why it looks like it does today. They did have like a large pole here in the middle. That's gone. It was here last time I was here, and who knows what happened to the giant round rock. That thing's probably been gone for God who knows how long. So someone's been kind enough to mark some of the trees with ribbons so you can find your way out of this place. Kind of similar to what you see in the suicide forest in Japan. I've been out here before and seen strings of yarn starting from the beginning all the way back to the back here, so that people that get lost can find their way back out. Oh my f***ing God, what is that? Some Skittles, motherfuckers. If you guys are gonna come out here, you gotta be careful. And I always talk about animals, but aside from your normal animals like snakes and stuff, you have to watch out for buffalo out here. Yes, I absolutely just said you've got to watch out for buffalo, because it's a free range. There's wild buffalo out here, and they're pretty aggressive. So I think it's going to be enough for parallel forest. Guys, if you're going to come out here at nighttime. It is way creepier. It's a scary sound. Anyways, what do you think? Do you think the place is haunted? All right. Yes, no, don't know. Leave a comment down below. We'll see you next time.